Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to be transported to a place of controversy where you'll laugh and think and possibly learn something. It's time for the Marty and Mr. Bill Show.
Hey, Mr. Bill.
Hey, what's up?
Well, we're going to stay here, man, and we're going to have another discussion today, man. Me and you were talking about this earlier, and kind of got on the topic because I decided to start doing a little research. And I've got a list here of the 6 most powerful drug cartels in Mexico.
Oh.
So I mean, because of the way things are going nowadays, I mean, it's pretty well a big time topic is drugs, you know.
Surprisingly, man, that you would say Mexico, because, by all traditions, everybody thinks of cartels as being, I mean, not all, but, the cocaine cartels and things being a Colombian-based thing.
And I actually believed that myself, that they were the largest, but they're not. They're actually, at one time they were, but the Mexican cartels pretty much took over that deal.
That would have been in the days of Escobar, man, in the Medellin cartel time, because at that time, he was like the 3rd richest dude. I mean, that motherfucker was on the coattails of the Sultan of Brunei, man. I mean, he had some serious money.
Well, see, Escobar, man, and particularly, he had a secret CIA connection that made him billions of dollars.
Did not know that.
Oh, I know. A lot of people didn't know that, man.
Well, come to think about it, I kind of did know that in a way, because I mean, not in the particulars, but Air America, which their motto was anything for a price,
Okay.
And I mean, even the movie with Mel Gibson and Downey in that, I mean, that was a very light portrayal of it, but they were cocaine runners, and there's a lot of opium trade and shit like that, and the CIA, that's it's stock and trade. Everybody knows that, it's tit for tat and all that kind of stuff, but there was a dude named Barry Seal. In fact, there's a movie out on HBO that
I believe Barry Seal might have been involved.
Dennis Hopper played Barry Seal in the movie, man. I saw it on HBO, and he had direct contact with Escobar and part of the Medellin situation there. In fact, he was running stuff for them, and then our government sold him out because of some shit and put him out to dry, and then the cocaine cartel, the Medellin cartel, shot him dead.
Well, these guys.
Anyway, man, I know you were talking about Mexican, and once again, I took it to another place.
That's okay, but I mean, that's okay. But these guys right here, now, what I found out was, like in the 90s, they had a new presidential election over there in Peru, and a guy named Alberto Fujimori, who just happens to be Asian, I know, became the president. But during the campaign, the little Asian guy met a Peruvian lawyer named Valimero Monasterios, and I'm telling you right now, I cannot say these names. So I'm not good. I'm no good at it all.
Sound like you said validated monasterio.
Something like that. Valdivero Monasterio or something like that.
Mononucleosis or some shit.
But no one, I mean, unknown to anybody, he had come out of the shadows, but he was a former lawyer for the Peruvian cartel bosses. Oh. So he had a lot of real powerful connections.
Yeah, I would think so.
And because of his connections and stuff, the little Asian guy come from being an obscure candidate to become one of the top favorites in a matter of 2 months.
That's a pretty quick rise, man.
Money they had put into it.
A couple of people they had to take out along the way probably to rise that fast.
But it was strange that such an intelligent man like Valermino could be unknown. But the fact was that he had been a secret CIA agent as early as 1976. So not only was he a lawyer for some of the largest cartel bosses in Colombia, he was also a CIA agent.
That's like Danny Brasco about 1,000 times over, man.
Yeah,
That's
no shit,
intense.
man. There's this
Donnie
guy
Brasco, rather.
defending all these
Danny
dudes
Brasco.
that's
Must be
actually a
dyslexic and
CIA
everything.
agent, you know? So there's this now, and that right there. They're not admitting that the CIA was actually selling all this shit, but they were, you know?
Oh
The
yeah,
CIA was getting their kick out of this shit, you know?
everybody knows
So,
this shit.
so the dude, the Valamito, now they started calling him something else later on, which would be easier to pronounce. They called him
V.
Vaticano, which was stood for the Vatican, you know?
Vaticano?
Cano is what they called him. You know,
Huh.
was translated out to the Vatican. You know, but but since he was the CIA, he was actually the real architect behind all the government policies for the president. He actually, you know, the president relied on him since he was the lawyer and everything to help him with all his governmental policies. You know, so the process he makes everything easier for everybody. So
That's a good thing.
he
The
understood it was
fixer.
critical in the Peruvian politics that I mean he realized he's the one that understood because he's a lawyer and because he's been doing this shit for so long. He understood that in the realm of Peruvian politics, almost everybody had a price. You know, you could buy anybody.
Pretty much everybody has a price. That's a blanket statement.
There's a
I mean,
number.
for certain things, I mean, like I wouldn't say, okay, for $1 billion, you can whack my best friend or my brother or some shit like that. I mean, there is points where money won't do it no matter what. But for basic shit, for $1 billion, I might look the other way while you whack my neighbor. I don't care why. you know, I mean,
Let that one go. But because of that, though, man, he had most of the members of the Peruvian Congress, the media, and even every influential political figure bought. You know, he owned almost the entire fucking country of Peru. You know, no, I mean he handled everything. He was also the head of the National Intelligence Service, which handled all sorts of unlawful operations such as torture, extortion, and murder. In addition,
they all do that shit.
uh, in addition, he constantly sought illicit ways to increase his wealth. You know, he's always trying to find a new way to make a dime. Now, during the late 80s and early 90s, Peru was the major export producer of a cocaine base. Okay, not the cocaine itself, but the base. You know, and then that that lasted. That only lasted until 1995, when the Peruvian government themselves set up a program of eradication, which included us. You know, to help them kill all this shit off.
Yeah. What year
You know,
was that?
that was 95. That's when they tried to shut down everything. They made a big campaign to try to eradicate the cocaine traffic in Colombia. And the government came in there, they destroyed the crops and shit, and they forced farmers to cultivate other crops rather than the poppies, you know. But it says, ironically, the government anti-drug campaigns were only a form of theatrics. The story was very different behind the curtain. It says, as an efficient CIA agent, Monasteros particularly fooled everybody. While the government promised cocoa eradication, he truly promoted cocaine trade with the cartels all over the world. You know,
And this is that lawyer dude.
This is the lawyer dude that was a CIA agent. You know, and
motherfucker getting 2 paychecks too. That motherfucker.
Getting paid like a motherfucker, man. And okay, back then there was a region called the Upper Hulaga. It's located in the jungles of northern Peru. It was the major area of the cocoa cultivation.
Well, you know why they did the jungles, man? Because it was so dense and the foliage was so bad that you couldn't fucking see where, they could have 10 labs in a fucking mile and you wouldn't have a clue.
Right? But it was cold. Now, that whole area, that whole valley was...
And it was hard to get to.
It was hard to get to. But that whole valley was controlled by a carpo. I don't even know what a carpo is. A mafia carpo, which I guess is the boss.
Capo?
Yeah, capo.
Yeah, that's like the underboss thing.
like the underboss.
Yeah.
His name was Demetrio Chavez Pinajera.
Penis.
Yeah,
The
Pina.
penis.
He was also known as El Vaticano. That was the
Capo
guy.
di penis.
Hey, that's the guy that was called the Vatican. I had it wrong. You know, he was also known as El Vaticano.
El
He, he,
Vaticano.
but he owned his own
The
airplane
Vatican
runway.
dude.
I mean, he owned his
That
own
sounds like a
airplane
name
run.
I'd come up, man, with like El Vaticano, man. That sounds like some shit we come up with on a vaporizing moment, man. And
El
that's actually a tough motherfucking cocaine cartel dude's actual nickname.
Mhm.
El Vaticano.
El Vaticano. And the Vatican,
that's fucking stupid.
But um, he actually owned his own airplane runway where the massive cocaine shipments were flown overseas. He was in charge of the Peruvian drug trading business. Pretty much. I mean, he had the thing. At the height of his power, he had dealings with 15 different drug cartels, including
Escobar.
Escobar. The Medallion cartel was one of his biggest.
Medellin.
Now, they say that his airstrip was one of the busiest drug trafficking spots in the world in the late 80s and early 90s, with dozens of airplanes shipping cocaine base all day and all night.
Oh yeah, those motherfuckers were they're 7-Eleven, man. I mean, they're 24 hours a day.
Well, it was
Which
said
is
that
fucking weird when you think about it, because 7-Eleven is known to be a 24-hour convenience store, but technically they started up and they were open from 7 in the morning till 11 at night. As fucked up as that might seem, wow, but
it should have been 724.
yeah, it should have been 24/365 or some shit, but that's a lot of fucking. I'm sorry, man, I just got off on a tangent again. So.
But okay, but no. Now see when Pablo came into this Escobar, he probably would have not have done as much without the guy's assistant. Without Vaticano's assistance, Pablo wouldn't have been shit. No, he'd have been a fucking a spit in the pan. That's it. But during that period, the Peruvian mafias were the main producers of cocaine base for the Colombian cartels. Conversion of the base into pure cocaine was the exclusive business of the Colombian cartels.
Yeah.
And that was it. They're the only one. They were the only ones at that time doing it. No one else was fucking doing it.
Converting a paste to a powder, yeah.
Right. And one day in 1989, now he visited his Escobar's lavish Colombian estate. It was called Hacienda Naples.
He had that motherfucker had like giraffes and swans and shit. He had a fucking zoo.
And he had his own personal zoo, man.
Yeah, he did, man. I mean, I'm watching a series right now called Narcos, man, on Netflix, 2nd season, and it's about Escobar. And it's really pretty. It's pretty. I mean, not as 100% true because they even tell you it's some dramatic fictionalization there, but I already knew about a lot of that shit before because to me they were the only cartel that mattered, in the grand scheme of things back in the 80s, 90s, and all that shit. Because you got what'd you have? You had Escobar at the top. You had I don't remember all of them, but you had
Escobar wasn't at the top, man.
Well, he's at the top. He's at the top of the Medellin thing, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
you also had Jose Rodriguez Gacha and Carlos Later Rivas, and who a lot of people know or don't know was like his enforcer. They had an island that Carlos Later controlled for the cartel, with horses and all that kind of shit, and it was a refueling station for the planes. And Walter Cronkite's yacht broke down right off of the coast of the island. He came in there to see about repairing his boat and shit. And later basically told him to get fucked, man. Told him he gonna get shot if he didn't get on his boat and get out of there and shit.
That's how fucked up that shit was, man. I mean, with the CIA involved, man. Now everybody knows who Manuel Noriega was. Manuel Noriega. Okay,
yeah.
he was a major drug lord.
Captain Zitface.
Not only was he a major drug lord, but he was also the CIA's drug lord in Panama.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Noriega was tied up with CIA.
from
Bush
80,
put him in.
yeah, 83 to 89.
Bush
He was
Senior.
the one. He was America's prize asset, bringing all
Till,
kinds of monies into the U.S.
till they got greedy.
Well, he got greedy, yeah. Then they put his ass away. You
They did.
know,
I remember listening to that, man, when they took him down. He was at the Papal Nunzio. Hey, they just to be place to be fucked up. Yeah, I was fucked up at the Papal Nunzio. But what they did was they played like metal music, man, on some really good stereos all around that motherfucker for like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, until finally the preachers and the Vatican dudes and all that said, "Hey, listen, man, we're sick of hearing about Metallica.
but,
You got to surrender, man. That's
but, but,
basically how it went."
but back on that, when the Vatican visited Escobar's, I don't like even having a hard time saying that name. That's an easy name. But when he visited Escobar, oh, he was very meticulous in his work, so much that he even kept professional accountants to assist him. So Escobar was very curious to meet, this rare Peruvian narco. So that evening is when he gave him a tour of his zoo that you were talking about, with all the
Oh yeah,
animal species he acquired from all over the world.
that
You
motherfucker
know,
had some serious white tigers and shit. He had some serious shit, man.
and when he talked to the guy, Escobar told Vatico that you have to make poor people love you. That's what Escobar's. That was his philosophy. You have to
That's
make
what
the
he used
poor
to do,
people.
man.
Yeah, he said without their support, you can't achieve anything. You know, and the only way to get that kind of support, he said, was through public works. He said, begin building business. He told him to begin building businesses, roads, parks, schools, sports fields, and stuff like that. You know, he said at the end, he was Escobar was actually truly impressed by the Vatican's personality, and he shook his hand and said, "You are actually the first serious Peruvian narco I have ever met. I have very good feelings about you, and from now on, we will do great business together." That was a quote by Pablo Escobar.
I don't doubt it.
You know. Okay. Now,
And then once that all fell, because Florida U.S. Florida United States Attorney Robert Merkel. He's the one that went over there. He's the one that masterminded getting Jose Gotcha. In fact, it was funny, man. I mean, it wasn't funny for him, but the newspapers, that's what the motherfucker said right on the front page was, "Gotcha." You know, and they fucking turned him into a fucking cheese grater, man. I mean, they shot him a lot of fucking times. And now later, he's in Supermax. I don't know, one of them, wherever the fuck. And
oh, now the
Merkel got him too.
funny thing I see, I found out about this thing is the Vatico and Monasteros, the lawyer dude, they were allies. You know, and they even had it set up because of Monastero's connections in the government and everything. The actual Peruvian army participated in the proper handling and shipments of the drug cargo. The Peruvian army was helping ship the shit out.
I doubt
You
it.
know, and it says in '90 that Vatico and Monasteros made a solid agreement, which I think was pretty fucked up for the dude to even agree to this. But he agreed to give him if Vatico gave him $50,000 a month, that he could freely run his operations with no problems. It would make sure everything went smooth. You know.
Now, 50
So
large ain't much, man, in that
no,
world.
you would think that he'd ask for a whole lot more than that, man. But he didn't. He got 50,000. You know. But the truth was, Peru was a narco state. He said, and he says I was only part of the system. Vatico said, you know, it was only part of the whole thing. But at that point, Vatico had not told Monasteros or whatever about his actual connections with Pablo Escobar. He kept
Oh.
those dealings secret, you know.
Well, what about these other 4 or 5 other cartels, man? We don't want to spend an hour on each one, man. We're going to be
Well,
here for 8 hours.
I want to let you know what actually fucked up this relationship, because it's funny as shit.
Money,
No,
pussy,
no,
something.
close to that. But listen, this is
It's
really
always one
stupid.
or the other.
No, no, you'd be surprised. It wasn't that. Uh, Let me see. I can't find it. Oh, I lost it now. what it boiled down to, though, somehow I've lost it. I'll have to find it again. But what it boils down to, let me see. Okay.
Betrayal. That's what it always boils
No,
down
but
to.
it's worse than that, man. I, I just I mean, I got a long way to go, man, if I want, but I'll skip right to the end, and we can go back to the other guys if you want to. But
Well, whatever you want to do, man. I was just gonna say we just probably don't want to do this for an hour or so. So.
okay, but and okay, here's where it all happened. It was he went to a birthday party. Surprisingly, a few weeks later, in 1992, Vatico received a phone call by Monastros. Vatico was astonished by the phone call. Since '91, his relationship with Monastro had turned sour due to an unfortunate accident. Okay, the accident was, according to Vatico, both he and Monastros had got really drunk that night, drinking Dom Perignon. You know, hours later, they both were left alone in the living room, and all of a sudden, Monastros began behaving in a feminine manner and grabbed Vatico's dick.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your
Well,
little dog,
Vatico
too.
says Vatico instantly laughed at this, but almost immediately, Monastros grabbed his dick again. This time he got real pissed off about it and reacted badly. And they told him, "Our former deal is over. From now on, instead of $50,000, you must give me $100,000 a month." He told him the DA was getting suspicious, and $100,000 a month or you're done. You know, and
if you touch my dick again, you be done anyway.
well,
Fuck that shit.
Vatico,
Always something, man.
Vatico refused. He wouldn't take the deal. He told him get fucked. And
Isn't
then the
that
guy,
weird, man? Dude was a homo, and his nickname was the Vatican.
no, it makes sense though. He's
Now it does,
Catholic.
yeah. Now it does, man.
But he refused to go. He refused the deal. Told him to go to hell, and then he hung up the phone on the guy and told him to get fucked. But months later, Special Army traveled right to the fucking valley where he was at with a mission to kill the motherfucker. They were supposed to kill Vatico, and the Peruvian boss had no other alternative than to flee. Then he had to flee Colombia. He had to leave Colombia, but he got help from his friends in the Cali cartel. He joined their organizations in the city of Cali, Colombia.
Yeah, what's the next city over from Medellin?
It was 2 years later, in '94, he was captured by the Colombian police. He was driving around in an old Chevy truck wearing shabby clothes, and inside the truck, the cops found $60,000, and he tried to bribe the cops thousands of dollars to let him go, and they refused it and took him to jail, and then extradited him back to Peru. So at that time, man, well, it was nothing else they could do, and Escobar. I mean, at that time, he knew the president had dealings with Escobar in the past. So the Vatican revealed these secrets to the press. The entire country would experience a meltdown. So therefore, Ballesteros had already arranged a specific place for him in his torture chamber. So the dude was never gonna fucking, go against anybody or say anything about anybody. So as soon as he arrived, he was heavily sedated, psychologically abused, and received extensive shock treatments. So he was tortured so badly that he lost his memory and went insane. By the time of his trial, he was already beyond help and could hardly walk and behaved like a zombie, yelling incoherent sentences in the court sessions. While the judge made fun of him, treating him like a dog, the president's secrets were safe. The dude was fucking nuts.
Huh.
So they made him completely fucking insane, so he couldn't testify.
Good for them.
They were smart. But he's supposed to be released from prison in 2016 though. But it says he slowly recovered. Says he slowly recovered his memory and went through a new trial, and his sentence was reduced, and he will be released in 2016. So he's supposed to be out this year. He isn't out already. But they had this as it's likely. They said likely that it's not going to. His dynasty is never going to return. You know, I mean, not like that. And that's what's happened to it. It went from, and after all that, it fucked them up so bad. As they said at one time, his airport was busier than the Peruvian National Airport.
Huh.
He had more planes flying out of his fucking airport just for drugs than the whole Peruvian National Air Force had going out.
That's pretty serious, man.
Pretty serious, man.
Yeah.
And but then after that though, now the shit just went fucking haywire. Colombia lost out, you know, and the shit was pretty well taken over.
Well, that's what you were telling me, man, that the Mexican cartels, I mean, it's just kind of hard to believe that really, but in a way, not necessarily because it's a direct path. I mean, they're there, man. All they got to do is come across. They're in Texas.
Right. You know, it was easy access, man. And they turned around and I mean, but now this wasn't just because, you know, but it was the fact that the Mexican cartels were willing to take the extra step to fucking take it away from them anyhow, you know. So they just said that the most powerful cartels that were located in Colombia at one time in the 70s. They said in the 70s the most powerful drug cartels were located in Colombia.
That they were. And
the two most influential were the Cali cartel and the Medellin cartel.
Medellin.
Medellin. Now, you was talking about that show you watched. You watched Queen of the South. Now, wasn't she part of that deal?
The Queen of the South. Now, the character, her name is Teresa, but I believe you said it was something to do with, there's an actual person. But that was based off of the Sinaloa cartel, Sinaloa, Mexico.
Okay, so that was the wrong one. I was off on that one. But
and what happened in the series, I don't know if there's any truth to it, it's all fictionalized, but in the series, basically, she's got a boyfriend that's part of the Sinaloa enforcers thing, and he steals from the dude, and they have him whacked, and then they were getting ready to take her to have her whacked, and there was an accident in the car. Well, the dude they call it the Vargas cartel. The dude's name's like Epifanio Vargas, so it's probably fake, you know. But he's running for the governor of Sinaloa or the governor of Mexico or some shit. And then anyway, she gets this book, and they figure out what it is over time. It's basically a latitude, longitude kind of thing. And every mark that they've got on that is something to do with the Sinaloa cartel and all that shit. So, but that's, like safe houses, murder body drops, money houses, just all kinds of shit based on it. So the dude really wants her dead. But her thing is, anyway, she ended up going into Texas. And Epifanio's wife, which her character's name, I don't know if there's again any truth to it, was Camila Vargas. She's handling Texas with her and another cartel that's the Jimenez cartel. And it's just a rivalry going. Now, I don't know how much of that is true, or I know the Sinaloa thing is probably somewhat true, but the name's probably not, and a lot of dramatic ad-libbing and things. But that's what I've been watching anyway. It's about Teresa, whatever you want to call her, Teresita.
Yeah, Teresita. Well, it's actually pronounced Teresa.
Yeah, well,
they might pronounce different, but spelled Teresa.
Yeah, yeah.
Mendoza. Now, she actually plays a character, and then that's the funny thing about this is she's actually playing a character. She's portraying a character that was on another show on Telemundo, which was based on her nickname, or the original Queen of the South, actually not Queen of the South. She was called Queen of the Pacific, and it was based. The media called her La Reina del Pacifico. That was her. Which means Queen of the Pacific.
Uh-huh.
And that show right there Queen of the South is based on the show that Helmundo did about her.
Oh, okay.
So it's not really even based on the original person. The original,
just
the original person was actually Sandra Olivia Beltran.
Sandra Beltran. Yeah, okay.
She was born October 16th, 1960. She's 55 years old now. And she was a Mexican drug cartel leader, dubbed, and like I said, they dubbed her La Reina del Pacifico, which was Queen of the Pacific. That's where they got the Queen of the South for the show.
Probably had a copyright thing.
Yeah, so probably it might be a copyright thing or something. But she was arrested on September 28th of 2007, was charged with organized crime and conspiracy to traffic drugs. Some of the charges were later dropped, but she's still held for possession of illegal weapons and money laundering, pending her extradition to the United States. On the 10th of August 2012, she was extradited to the United States to answer criminal charges by the U.S. government. Now, they consider she was the Mexican and U.S. officials consider she was an important link between the Sinaloa cartel in Mexico and the Colombian cartel, Norte de Vela cartel. So she was connected with both of them. But I mean, this girl goes way back. It wasn't like she just started into this. She was actually a third generation drug trafficker in her family.
Yeah, well, they kind of played that up when when they were talking about the Sinaloa cartel, and they said I don't really remember the whole particulars of it, but that was loosely kind of portrayed.
Well, she was
it's a good series.
Yeah, she was the niece of a guy named Miguel and Angel Felix Gallardo. He was a one-time godfather of the Mexican drug trade. And he's serving a 40-year sentence for the 1984 murder of Enrique Camarero. And that he was a U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration agent.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And her great uncle, Jose Juan Payan, was extradited to the United States for drug trafficking charges on her mother's side. The Beltrans got involved in heroin smuggling in the 70s and then diversified into cocaine after that. She came. She reportedly had affairs with several well-known drug barons in her youth. So she was screwing a lot of the big drug lords, man, because she was a hot little, Colombian girl putting it out there,
Ladder.
But she was married twice. Both her husbands were ex-police commanders who became drug traffickers. So she married two police commanders, and both of them became drug traffickers. Both of them were later killed by hired assassins, which she probably fucking hired herself, I think. But I mean, they had both of them in a row have it happen, and you think they didn't get her.
Like first time you go, I don't know, second time. You imagine the third husband, he's like, bitch.
Yeah, bitch.
I'm telling you right now, motherfucker.
You do whatever the fuck you want to do. But
just don't take me out.
The police attribute her rise to power in the drug world primarily because of her most recent relationship, which was with Juan Diego Espinanzo Ramez, alias the Tiger. Who was said to be an important figure in the Colombian Norte del Vela cartel. Says she lived. Olivia Beltran lived in Guadalajara, Jalisco, and Hermosillo, Sonora, which is in Sonora, until the police found more than 9 tons of cocaine on a ship at the Pacific port of Manizal, Coloma in 2001 and tracked the shipment to her. Huh. So the girl was putting out a lot of shit, I mean, she was arrested along with Espinanzo on the 20th of September 2007 in Mexico City.
We're going to have to put a caveat in here. A lot of these words probably haven't been pronounced correctly.
Guaranteed. We're
not trying. This is a story we're telling you. Esperanzo might be Lewis.
Yeah, might be because I'm a white hillbilly and I can't say these words, man.
I'm just getting a kick out of it, man. I think it's funny as hell. Uh,
But
I
she
love
was
you though,
charged.
man.
But at that time, she was charged with and convicted of laundering money for billions of dollars of drugs smuggled from Colombia to Mexico. You know, so I mean, and it says in a tape of her police interrogation, she describes herself as a housewife who earns a
Yeah,
little money, on the side selling clothes and renting houses.
yeah.
When
That's like Javier Hollander saying, "Yeah, I'm a little bit of a happy hooker, who's wrote a book about how I fucked 18 million guys, but
there
it's
you
just a
go.
part-time thing, you know."
Well, she said, they said that when they asked her why she had been arrested, she responded, because of an extradition order to the United States. That was the only explanation she gave. They said that her life behind bars in the Santa Marta's prison in Mexico City has apparently not been to her liking, as she filed a complaint with the Mexican City Human Rights Commission saying that her cell had insects, which she referred to as noxious fauna. And she also said that the ban on bringing food in from restaurants violated her human rights. She wanted them to she wanted to order food from restaurants every day to eat. She didn't want to eat prison food.
Fuck,
You
who
know,
would?
yeah, but and they in 2009, a journalist, Allison Cooper, interviewed her, which I need to look that up.
Alice Cooper?
Oh, Anderson Cooper, probably
Oh,
Allison's little brother. I don't know, but
oh, Anderson Cooper. Yeah, he's like he's a gay dude, man.
but he interviewed her on it for 60 minutes. So I need to look that up in 2009. Yeah, I'd like to see that interview, but
I would
I
too.
did not look it up. But in January 2011, they launched an investigation after a doctor was allowed into the prison to give her a Botox injection treatment. You know, which is a therapy that is not authorized for inmates. So they said that the prison's director and the hospital chief were relieved of their duties because of that. They said all the drug charges were dropped in 2011. Like I said, she still remained in prison for uh, for expedition to expedite her to the United States of drug trafficking. And then in 2012, they got her over here. They brought her back. I brought her here. You know. And then they went ahead and we're going way too long on this girl, but they went ahead and tried her on the shit, and let me see. Let's say she was reported. She was then then she was reported back to Mexico, where she was immediately arrested for laundering charges on 20th of August 2013, and was sentenced to 5 more years in prison and a fine for money laundering.
Damn.
Since she was imprisoned at the Federal Social Redemption Center #4, which is a fucking nightclub, no, a fucking what
Country
do you
club.
call it? Yeah, luxury fucking. It's
Yeah,
like
I know.
joining a club, you know.
It's like you want to
And,
do time there, you
that's
know.
what you want to do. Time, yeah. She was released in 2015, so she's out right now and lives in Guadalajara. You know, but since her arrest in 2007, she spent a total of 7 years in prison, including the 10 years in isolation, or 2 years in isolation.
Isolation be a motherfucker, man.
But the girl, out of all the billions of dollars that girl rolled through, she only did 7 years.
Well, she better hope she had some buried somewhere.
Their money, I guarantee her money was somewhere. She had money somewhere.
Some of it, you sure think there would be somewhere.
But I believe she was the largest female drug lord ever.
Huh.
You know,
Well, that's pretty cool. Well, you wanted to. I guess we've touched enough on this for now. You wanted to talk
well,
about the
at
other
one
thing on
point,
the hit it and quit it thing. Uh-oh, you just froze up.
stuff, man. You
Yeah.
know, I messed up my phone. I had technical difficulties.
Okay.
You know,
I'll take care of it.
I received a call that I wasn't supposed to receive. You know, it messed me up. But
Uh-oh.
yeah, I just wanted to rant a little bit, man, because as you know, and they probably don't know. I had a lot of medical problems, and I go through a lot of issues. But my biggest issue right now is with my doctor. Uh, I told my doctor right from the start, day one, that I vape, I smoke weed, and I wanted to make sure. I thought it was good to be honest with your doctor, so they knew what you were doing, especially since I have kidney and lung problems and stuff,
Uh-huh.
and that's why I vape. I don't smoke anymore, but I told him I use marijuana, and surprise, 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 I find out that it's their policy that if I partake in the usage of marijuana, be it legal or illegal, or even if it's medical, that they are not allowed to prescribe me any type of narcotical medication. So now, if I need pain meds for the surgeries and stuff like they do to my legs and everything else, I'm not allowed them.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
I'm not allowed any type of narcotic because I use marijuana, which, according to the CDC and everything, they've already proven that there's no reason, not to include, even opiates. They say that opiates actually work on a separate but parallel path with the opiates, with the marijuana, and actually causes it so you use less opiates and do a better job, controlling the pain, So even though it works better, and even the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, has done extensive studies and sent recommendations out telling the doctors and all the clinics and everything that they need to stop testing people for marijuana because it has nothing to do with it.
No, it doesn't, man. It's just their way of bitch slapping you just because they can.
And that's where I'm at right now. I think anybody out there, that uses medical marijuana, and for one thing, if you don't want to fight or argue with it, don't tell your doctor.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Just, don't ask, don't tell,
Problem is, with the new system they've got, the company that got me was a company called Narcotics, and they will test you if you use any type of opiates or anything like that. Your doctor's going to test you through Narcotics or something like that, and but don't think that, well, I'll just use some fake pee or something like that, because if you use fake pee and it does not have the opiates that they've been prescribing you in it,
you're a mara-fucked.
You're fucked too, because they're going to check and see if you've been taking your drugs, what drugs you've been taking, and if you're using marijuana while you're taking these drugs. So there's no getting out of it. If you try to use fake pee or someone else's pee and they're not on the medication that you're supposed to be on, they're going to take you off the shit anyhow. And I just think everybody that's out there needs to say something about this. And especially if you've been removed, if they've removed your drugs from you that you needed. Now, I myself, I don't care about pain. I'm used to it, But the point is, if you smoke marijuana and you're in serious pain and you need these opiates in order to relieve the pain, but they take them from you, that right there is endangering your patient. It's causing them a lower quality of life. And I believe myself, it's completely going against the oath that the doctors have to give in the beginning, stating they will cause no harm. They are directly causing you harm by removing your pain medication and making you have to experience this pain full strength. And I think you need to complain about it. You need to write the hospital heads, or the doctors, or the medical association. There are numbers, and I wish I had them, and I do have them. I just don't know where they're at this moment. I did not look it up because I wasn't prepared, and I usually am.
You're off center now.
Oh, I know I'm off center. I'm looking up something. No. Okay.
We might want to tell people that this particular episode of Two Guys Talking is more like one guy talking, one guy chime in once in a while, because Marty had a lot of shit he wanted to talk about.
But
It's kind of happening
I,
now.
I, and
So,
I like to be
yeah.
able to tell you who to write, but I cannot find the name right now. But
There you
there is a company, and it's an actual legal, state-run organization that controls all the medical things and everything. And if 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 you need to write, you write these. You contact whoever it is that handles this in your state, and you tell them that your hospital is denying your medication for this reason, and they will take action against them.
You gonna go ahead and give them the address or
I
the?
could not find it, and I wanted to, you know,
Okay.
and,
Well, it does
that's what
exist, though, huh?
I'm ready for, but it does exist, and it's an actual it's a federal company, I believe. I would actually think it has something to do with like then if I have to move my screen again, it's going to really screw you up. But
That's all
I think I can't look it up without moving the screen around.
right.
But
That's all right.
but you need to research it. It's very easy to research. Just Google it. Find yourself a source. Find who you can complain to, and please, the more letters they get against any given organization is going to cause them to take quicker
Oh
action.
yeah, little guy's got to say something, or they're not gonna care.
If you don't say something, they're just going to blow you off. You
They
know,
will, and we're
I,
still the
I myself,
land of the free.
I myself, I'm going to go. I got to make an appointment to go see the director of the hospital, and when I walk in there, I'm going to have all my information this time. But
Oh yeah,
and
it's
I'm going to
understandable.
lay it on him. But the recommendation actually comes directly from the United States Center for Disease Control. That's saying that this shit does work better with marijuana. You
Oh,
know,
I'm sure.
and they should not
Everything does, man.
think better with marijuana. But but I just wanted to get that out there. I want people to be aware that they're doing this to you. And if you go in there and you do need pain medication, you go to see the doctor, don't be honest with him about smoking marijuana or you're not going to get the shit.
Sad to
No,
say, but yeah, that's the way
no,
you
no,
got to
no.
play it.
It's bad that you can't be honest with your doctor because you should be able to be.
Yeah, yeah, but that's the theory, but it's only a theory. Oh, and I think we need to address real briefly before we close out. We probably should have said it at the beginning, but um, you know, there are new guidelines and such out right now for YouTube. Maybe they've been there. We think they have, but they never enforced them. That has proven to be very detrimental for Marty and Mr. Bill, the show, and a lot of other people on YouTube because
Not
of the
today.
fact that they're they're demonetizing for almost everything that you guys would want to watch other than a Leave It to Beaver kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anything, drugs, swearing, sex, profanity,
You cannot have
politics,
politics, everything, man. National
everything.
disasters, no,
So
yeah, no profanity, no nudity, no,
So
no, no.
basically, there's a dude right now on America's Got Talent. I would be his understudy, man. He's called Tape Face, and the motherfucker's got a piece of masking tape or duct tape across his mouth. He never talks. I would be Tape Face Junior because everything I say is basically stuff they said couldn't be said for monetization. So we're just letting you guys know we're still out here doing this. Whether we get one hit or 100 million, we're not going to get a dime for any of this stuff anymore. But we still wanted you folks to know that we're going to still be here until they kick us off if they do.
Not only
And
that, though, I want you to take a chance, and I urge you to comment or to YouTube, to their Twitter, to their Facebook. I want you to contact YouTube, and I want you to complain about the censorship that they're causing people that are on YouTube. Now, I'm not saying that anyone should be getting, paid, but I mean these guys that are getting paid because they got violence or because they got partial nudity or they swear or something.
or the
Now
vape
these
critic.
guys just lost their living.
Just
That's
the
how they
vape,
make their
just
living.
just the vape critic talks about different vapes that are great and shit.
Yeah, now he can't. Now, yeah, that's what he does. That's his job. Now he can't talk about using drugs anymore.
Yeah.
He can't talk
We
about.
we can't talk about Big Daddy or Clinton or any of
Yeah,
this
we
shit.
can't tell you that we love Big Daddy Trump because it's politics. You know?
but we're still going to do it.
Yeah, we're going to do it anyhow. But
I
the
mean, we
fact
don't
is,
care about the money, man. We're just going to do this whether we get, like I said, whether we go viral or not. We're staying out here and we're going to keep saying what we're saying.
but we want you to complain.
We
We
do
want
want you to
complain to YouTube.
First Amendment violation if there ever was one.
If there's restricted speech, is that they're restricting our freedom of speech and our ability to express ourselves, even though they may allow it on YouTube still by removing the monetization, taking away that right. That's saying that we're not really allowed to do it. Well, we'll let you do it anyhow, so we'll get people to watch our channel, but we don't want you to ever make anything from it.
Well, one cool thing about it, there won't be any ads on our channels, and if I want to go back to using the Peter Gunn theme, which I think I may, we're going to have a really nice, cool intro and extro, and the only reason we took it off was because of this monetization shit, because it was copywritten and they didn't let us monetize, but since they fucked us on that, then fuck it, man. Peter Gunn is reigning strong now. He's coming back.
Although I do kind of like Bill's new stuff. Bill's the one that's responsible for all these intros and stuff, and all these little captions you see and put up there and everything. That's Bill.
I'm taking all the blame now, man.
Yeah, you got to take all the blame on this one because Bill is not only a part of this show, he is also the producer and editor.
Yeah, the secret's out, man.
Secret's out. It's all on him, man. Got complaints? Go to Mr. Bill.
Yeah, send all complaints in care of the Mr. Bill show and Marty show here. But no, as far as I just think that freedom of the press, if you will, and that's what we've got here. Only we're video press. It should be able to First Amendment whenever necessary if you want to say something. And I think it's surprising that Google, being of such a liberal stature, is going to turn around now and start acting like we're in China or something. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, I'm waiting for this. I heard rumor, and I don't know if it's going to work out, but I heard that Obama was trying to give control of the internet over to an independent company.
Well, that's kind of like me saying, okay, I'm going to give IBM to Kmart.
Right.
I don't own either one of them. Obama doesn't own the fucking internet.
Yeah, but if he sets it down though as an executive order.
Yeah, but how can the executive order something that he has no fucking control over?
Well, that's
he's
just
tried 100,000 fucking times.
He's trying to make it so he does have control over it, not himself, because that would look bad. But he's going to appoint somebody to do it, And
I don't think it's going to fly, and I'll tell you why. If it does, it just proves how corrupt our government is. The ability, the internet is based on a lot of things that the government would love to control and can't. They don't give a fuck about anything. They just want to figure out how they can make money and tax the son of a bitch. They wouldn't care if what the porno status, what the anything status was on there. If they can figure out how to make money, and that's why they want to put it into a private company, then they can funnel the son of a bitch into a tighter weave of deception, and next thing you know, the motherfuckers are taxing you for using the internet.
Not only that, it's going to turn around and it's going to make the internet just like those 6 large media companies, corporations that we were talking about before.
That's right.
That it's going to be controlled possibly, and I'm more than likely, by one of those 6 media giants.
Yeah.
Somebody
Murdoch or something.
And then now we're back to being controlled, that you guys are going to hear what they want you to hear.
And nothing else.
And nothing else. So that eliminates the whole idea of the internet, of YouTube. If you cannot say what you want to say on YouTube the way you want to say it, then the only thing you can do is say what they want you to say.
Just think, if they'd done it 20 years ago, you'd be going, Donald who?
Donald who? Yeah, nobody knew who it was because they wouldn't want you to know. They don't, because the only reason that he's on Fox News is because Fox is actually a pretty good channel.
Well, Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah, Fox is putting it out there, and they're not being biased or anything. They're not against Hillary. Hillary's against Hillary. They're just putting the news out there, the real news.
Well, if she wins, like I said, if she wins, it's only because people aren't paying attention.
Well, if you must listen to some of the media giants, if you don't want to listen to people like us, which is fine, But when you watch news, watch Fox News, you know.
Fair and balanced.
Yep. Fox tries to be real, you know. And I didn't used to believe that until I started watching a lot of the other channels and watching how little coverage they would give Trump and how much they would try to cover up for Hillary.
That's right. Even that stupid, well, it wasn't stupid, that commander-in-chief thing. One commercial in that whole son of a bitch, and it was a pro-Hillary down Trump commercial right before Trump came on. Now you tell me those son of a bitches didn't do that on purpose.
They did that. They did it on purpose. You know they did, man.
Clinton Broadcasting Network.
Yep, CNN, man, the Clinton Broadcasting Network.
CBS.
Oh, CBS did it too.
Clinton Broadcasting Service.
CBS, wasn't it? That's right.
Yes, it was.
CBS and CNN both are pro Clinton.
Actually, it might have been on NBC. To be honest with you, I think it was NBC.
Hey, don't quote me then, but whatever it was, I
no better than Clinton.
I don't believe, and if they're going to put stuff out there, put out what's real. That's what we're doing now. If Hillary wasn't such a piece of shit, we wouldn't say she was a piece of shit, but she definitely is. I mean,
and she's a piece of shit that is like the one piece of shit you don't ever want to smell. It's like a piece of shit from something that ate a skunk and it came out as skunk shit with the smell of the skunk plus shit.
Plus shit.
That's Hillary.
Stuck to your shoe. You're trying to kick it off, but we're having a hard time getting rid of it.
You can't get rid of it. But
hopefully, come election, we'll get rid of that. But please, and I know Big Daddy, he's got a little rough edges and shit. Sometimes he's a dick, man, but we need that. We need someone out there that's got balls. I actually saw a T-shirt today that said, finally, somebody that has balls, Trump.
That's right, man.
That's what we need. We need somebody that has balls.
Let's put it this way. You can always look at it that way. You can look at it as, do we really want to do worse than Obama? Do we want to do as bad as Obama?
Do we even want to stay the same?
Well, no. And the thing of it is, all of the blacks that voted for him, it's going to sound like a racial thing. Maybe it is. And all of that, and all of the low-rent people that voted for him for programs and shit, a lot of them got fucked.
Yeah.
Because Obama didn't give them the shit they thought they were going to get or the shit he promised them. He even lied to the fucking minorities.
Right.
Now, yeah, I mean, if they're going to be stupid, then they'll vote Democratic. If they're looking for something different, why do you think, if for no other reason you vote every other time, you vote for the other guy if things aren't really good?
I urge all Democrats, no matter color, race, creed, anything, just do your research. See what the Democrats have actually done for anybody.
Yeah, more like what they've done to people.
Well, it's more what they've done. You'll be able to find more information on what they've done to everybody than what they've done for everybody.
Tax and spend. That's the English verbiage of a Democrat.
A Republican, they always try to make money, man.
Spend all our money and then tax us to get it back.
We've ever had, and sure, maybe you can bitch and say, well, he was a crook, but every one of them suckers made us money.
Yes, they did.
And even if we had something to bitch about, they weren't putting money in their pocket. They were putting money in our pocket.
Well, like I said, too, everybody's on Trump about the Bangladesh and the 12 countries and shit. Simply put, he had an agenda to make money for his stockholders. And he did that. He found a place, not in the United States, sad to say, but true, that basically gave him quality shit at a good price point. So he made money for his people. Now he's on the other side of the fence. So simple as that. I'm surprised they didn't run a commercial based on that, because now he's on the side of the fence where he's going to use all of what he learned doing it for his stockholders. And now he's got the United States of America as his stockholders.
We are his stockholders. We are Trump stockholders now. If he becomes president, we are holders in Trump stock.
That's
You know,
right. And that's what you're doing. You're buying into President Trump. It's that simple. He's going to do what he did for his shareholders for us.
I
And
believe
there's nothing wrong with that.
I believe wholeheartedly, if you give Trump a chance, and Trump gets his time in there, by the end of 4 years, you're going to see a change.
Well,
And you're
he's
going
going
to
to
have
get 8 years out of it.
you're going to have more money in your pocket at the end of the first 4 years than you had now. You know,
I believe so.
I believe that too. And I think give him a chance. If you want a better living, if you want a better quality of life, give Trump a chance. You know,
That's right, man. John Lennon said it best. Give Trump
Yep.
a chance.
Give Trump a chance. and if he knew Trump, he would have sung that song.
Yes, he would have. I'm sure he would have, man.
Well,
That's all we are saying.
We're running a little long on this, so we better bail out.
Alrighty.
Until next time, you know, I just want to encourage, just like Mr. Billwell, that you guys like us, post us on your Facebook, Twitter accounts, anything. Leave us comments. Help us build this thing. We want to be there. We want to be your voice. If you have something you want to say that you don't want to say it yourself, post it on our comments, man. We'll say it. We don't care. You know,
That's right. We don't give a fuck.
we will put it out there. You know, we will make sure they hear it. You know, now if it's a hate crime or something, we're not into that. You know,
No hate crime stuff, man.
but anything that helps people and you want people to know about it, and something that you want people to know that like our government or somebody's harming us, tell us, and we'll make sure everyone knows. Everyone that listens to us will know.
This is the Unserious Network.
With that, I'm going to let Mr. Bill write us out of this thing. And until next time, you guys have a good time and keep your vapes up, man. You know,
That is correct.
this is our standing in life. We have the right to vape.
This is correct. All right. And we will talk to you folks at the next one. Have a good day.